Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the GT Sport League here at Gavra Racing. We're here for round number 12 out of 15. We're rapidly approaching the end of this season, season 4, and what a season it's been. You join us here in Japan for Tokyo Expressway around the East Inner Loop. That is the configuration we are running today. As you can see by the track conditions though, it is slightly damp. Intermediates are the tyres of choice. It's slightly raining on the circuit here today. And we've got this 18-minute qualifying session. We've got 13 minutes and 44 seconds left to go. And lap time should be around the 2:05s, 2:06, I'd imagine. Maybe a little bit quicker with the aid of slipstream. Here goes Rick Holt, though, to set the benchmarker. The first lap time is a 2:07 flat. What about Tim? Can he improve? Goes 7 tenths clear of that. Dan Schneider goes up into second place behind. Wiggly in fourth place on the track. Goes into the fourth place in the qualifying session for now. Topster, a last-minute replacement driver, goes just ahead of both Wiggly and St. Finns, dropping in behind your Season 1 champion. Dutchy goes onto provisional pole by 3 tenths. Ted in to replace Webster tonight. Tobbs is in replacing Thunder. Unfortunately, Manuel couldn't be here for today's race. Piero setting a 2 minutes 8.3, 7 tenths quicker than Aston's 2 minute 9 flat, and Bonnie Evil goes up into 7th place. And the first sets of times are in, and apart from Tiger Saturn, who's backed out of his time, 2:10.7, but it hasn't popped up, so probably got a penalty or has probably just backed off of that lap, to be perfectly honest. It is though Dutchy and Asin on the front row. I just had to quickly check my audio is a-okay, and indeed it is on my end, so please let me know if something's not happening or something's wrong in the chat. Hello to everyone who's tuning in early on. We've had 7 minutes, no we haven't, we've had 5 minutes of a qualifying session, and with laps in the low 2 minutes, they're not going to get many laps in. Dan Schneider hitting the wall on the left-hand side. Something you don't want to be doing. We do have the wall collision penalties. And damage is both on, which can cost you a lot of speed and momentum. It's really important around this track for momentum, especially the middle sector. I should actually say the third sector, because there's 4 sectors around this track. 5 sectors, actually. You've got sector 1, 2 there, 3, 4 and 5, you can see them by the dashed grey lines on the map. One after turn 1, and then a few later on in the lap, but we don't need to get onto that. We'll get onto it later, we'll do it on a flying lap or something. Let's get on board of Attengren then. Going down the start, finish straight, currently just clocking over the 2 minute mark. Does he improve on his personal best so far? Rick Holt does. Atten though, he's 6 tenths down. It's a long run down towards turn 1, which should provide some good overtaking. Someone has stopped on the final corner. Topster improves though. The Toussaint goes up the field to 6th and 7th. Finn goes up into 4th place. Meanwhile, on board with Tim in towards turn 1, braking around the 150 metre board. Don't want to cut the inside curb, keeping it nice and tight on the inside. Look at his throttle input. So cautious. Getting up, building up the acceleration on exits. He's just 6,000th off of his personal best through the first sector, which is turns 1 and 2, going up the hill, braking at around just before, if not at the 50 metre board. It's fairly similar to the dry, almost flat out, but just a little lift and a dab on the brakes before gently almost kissing the barrier on the right hand side. This corner almost flat out, just a little lift required to get the car rotated in. Braking kind of as the track evens out. You can see a change of tone in the colour of the tarmac. That's a nice braking point. Tim using it well. 50 metre board is a nice braking point. I say braking point. Another dab on the brakes. It's a high speed third sector. We're approaching another stationary car on the track. I'm not sure who that is or what the issue could be. Hopefully we don't need to have a lobby restart. It is Bonnie Evil who has pulled over to the side of the track, so it does look like it is manual and not a glitch in the game. They have they got going again? No, I don't think so. Meanwhile, Tim going through the final few corners. This is sector 4. You'll see the sector split now. He's narrowly not improving on his time. This is the 5th sector. It is a complete straight and all depends on the exit from the final corner. Tim revving the engine in 5th gear. The Mazda sounds so beautiful as he approaches the line. Doesn't actually improve. Let's see if anyone else further behind improves. Dan Schneider does improve. What about the likes of Toussaint and Finn running in 6th and 7th place respectively? Dutchy in the 1st place. He's got Finn right behind him on the track. None of them improve. What about Toussaint? Comes into the pits for fresh sets of intermediates. Tobster, Bon Evil follow them in. So Bonnie's got going again. Ted does improve and goes up into 9th place. Ted replacing Websons, who can't make it for today's race. And actually, pretty respectable lap time, 2 minutes 7.2, ahead of the likes of Bonnie and Piero. Tiger puts his Lexus up into 5th place after that lap, 2 minutes 6.6, and it's 9 seconds closer to a second of provisional pole. Dutchy 7/10 clear of the rest of the field, and you just fear it might be another Dutchy demolition here in Tokyo. We'll have to wait and see though. No points for qualifying, as it's getting a little bit hectic down at the first corner. You just see arrows absolutely everywhere down at the 180-degree right-hander. Tobster using his Season 1 livery. That's a throwback on the Honda NSX. He'll be seeing what he can do in tonight's race. Previously raced in a few, I think 1 or 2 races early on in the season. Picking up that race win in Group B. Bon Evil hitting the wall on the right hand side on an outlap though, so it's not going to matter too much unless you pick up some damage. Tim though appears to be ploughing on. He's caught up to the back of Rick Holt. This will give him a nice tow down the massive start finish straight. Rick Holt though has pulled over to one side and is letting Tim go through. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes into the pits at the end of this lap. The three Dutch guys doing really well. 1st, 3rd and 4th so far in this qualifying session. We can't see him now, but we're about to see a Mazda RX Vision. I think it's RX Vision. Yes, it is the RX Vision. Going up to the start finish line and does improve by 3.5 tenths. Goes up to 2nd, or maintains 2nd place, Closes that gap down to play Dutchy though, who has a 1.5 second time. No, that's Finn, with a 1.5 second time penalty, who comes into the pits. Dutchy doesn't improve. He's 2 tenths off of his personal best. Meanwhile, the likes of Tobster, Toussaint, Tiger, all going to be starting their flying laps. We've got 6.5 minutes left to go here in this qualifying session. Toussaint actually decides to come into the pits again. So that was someone else coming into the pits. That was Tiger coming into the pits again. I'm not sure why. I think he pitted on the last lap, but I'm not too sure. He might not have pitted. I'm confused. We'll just have to wait and see. Meanwhile though, Toussaint going into turn 1, hooks up the first apex nicely, he gets the second apex nicely. As the back end steps out a little bit on the throttle. Let's have a look at his set splits. He is 2 tenths up on his time. You can see drivers there going into turn 1, going up the hill, braking it around the 50-meter board. Let's actually remove the UI and have an onboard, well, not really an onboard, a cinematic view of a lap from your Season 1 Premier Series champion in the Lexus. Lexus is a nice car to drive. Hooks that apex up beautifully. These guys just make it look so easy, as you can see the sparks flying off the wall on the right hand side. That might have cost Toussaint maybe half a tenth in the 3rd sector, but every corner flows into one another. Lots of medium high speed corners. This track is an absolute dream to drive in the drying Group 3, but you know what, I thought I'd add a bit of spice and put it in the wet. So you can see the beautiful camera angle and a really nice livery that Toussaint's designed on his car, braking it around the 100-meter board, maybe just before that. For the final corners, he hits the wall on the exit of the penultimate corner. That might have cost him a bit of time. We'll just have to wait and see what the sector split's looking like. Dutchy extends his lead even further, 1.5 seconds quicker than Toussaint, who is 3.5 tenths up. 2 minute 5.4 for your 2 times GT Sports champion and current championship leader. Toussaint though is going to make his way up to the line. Does he improve? He does improve by 4 tenths, goes up into 4th place. Dutchy's old teammate is and rival, sorry, that's one way of putting it, is about to set a time not quicker than his personal best. We've got Aston in the background making his way into the pits. Tiger, though, is about to start his flying lap. Currently, where is he? He is in 6th place and has Bon Evil pushing him down the start-finish straight. BMW versus Lexus in straight line speed, and looks like Bon Evil is giving Tiger the little bit extra going in towards turn 1. I'm sure we might see some of that in the race as well. Tim is on an outlap. Dutchy isn't on an outlap and hasn't actually come into the pits yet, so is using the most of the low fuel and his worn intermediates, which might be a little bit more up to temperature than the rest of the fresher sets of Inted. He is a 10th up on his time through the 3rd sector, approaching the final 2 corners. Does he go too deep? We'll have to wait and see. How aggressive is he going to push these track limits? I say track limits. How far is he going to push the track? Because you go too wide, too deep, and you'll be greeted with a barrier, probably damage and maybe even a time penalty. Let's have a look at the sector split. It's 2.5 tenths up. This is going to be a mega lap from Dutchy. He could go 8 tenths clear of the man in 2nd place. Dutchy proving the speed that he has, not only out on track, but what he can extract from the Alfa Romeo 4C, and does a 2-minute 5.1, goes 5.5 tenths clear of Attengren, who is going to be starting his flying lap. What about Rick Holt? What can he say in the situation? Not much. 3.5 tenths off of his personal best. Can Toussaint improve from his 2-minute 6.5? Doesn't look like, oh no he does, but improves by a tenth, sorry, goes up into 4th place. I think he actually maintains 4th place. Finn goes up into 7th, goes half a tenth, not half a tenth, sorry, 100th behind Rick Holt. Topster and Wiggly both improving. Topster knocking his fellow German down a position, goes up into 7th place. Tiger Assassin up into 5th with Bon Evil behind in 11th, not able to improve, but has got the slipstream. Something to note, Play Dutchy has set that time without slipstream. Slipstream is so important, especially down the massive long straight. But we've got 1 minute left to go. Anyone going through the 1st sector won't have enough time to complete a lap. Tiger just getting all sorts of out of shape through the 1st corner. Bon Evil, Tokyo drifting it on the exit of turn 2. Something that's going to be really important to try and manage and keep consistent throughout the duration of the race. Conditions are really tricky out there. This isn't even the heaviest of rain on offer that this track has to provide. We could have gone to the midday session, which is overcast and absolutely chucking it down. It's like a day in the UK. Bon Evil, though, going wide, hitting the wall. Can't imagine he would be improving on that lap. But we'll cut back to it at the end of the lap, sorry. We'll see what other drivers are capable of doing as they're making their way to start their final laps with only 50 seconds left on the clock. Here goes your championship leader, Play Dutchy, up to the line. Does he improve? No, he doesn't improve. What about Rick Holt or Tim in the Mercedes and the Mazda? Tim in front on track. We'll see his lap time first. Does he improve? No, he doesn't improve. What about Rick Holt? Doesn't improve either. I'm not sure who that was behind them to. Who that was behind them to? That doesn't make sense. Anyway, Toussaint in 4th place currently. Can he improve? He does improve. Goes up into 3rd place by 2 tenths in his personal best. 1.5 tenths on Rick Holt. Finn getting back ahead of Topster, who might just improve on this lap and does not. He's 3 tenths off his personal best. Maintains 8th place as Wiggly style. Goes up into 9th ahead of Ted. Can Ted improve though? Ted doesn't improve. Bon Evil though improves, goes up into 9th place. Will start no higher than 9th. These are the drivers' final laps here in qualifying. The checkered flag is being waved, trying to find who is going to come across the line next. It will be Aston running a We Race as One Red Bull themed livery. Can he improve from the back of the grid? He does improve, not quite though, only less than a tenth off of P12, 2.7 seconds off of provisional pole position. Tiger's backed out of his time and he won't be improving. I'm trying to find who is the next driver to come across the line. It's going to be Piero though. He's on an outlap, so he won't. Well, he can't improve physically because he's on an outlap. It looks like it's going to be Rick Holt and Attengren are going to be the next drivers to improve. Rick Holt is a 10th up. We'll ride on board with him through the latter stages of the lap. There was a car parked on the right hand side. Now it's over to the left hand side. It's Tiger Assassin pulling off the racing line, getting out of the way for everyone. Does not want to give anyone slipstream down the start finish straight. So maybe his teammate. I think that might be what he's preparing to do. One straight to go. It's all about the exit through the final corner. Has Rick Holt nailed it? Yes, he has. He's a 10th up. If it was such a good exit, he might just jump to Saint. Don't know why the finish word has come across the middle of the screen. We've still got a minute left due to the qualifying continuation time, just to allow everyone to finish their laps. Rick Holt does improve and narrowly beats Toussaint, who's dropped down to 4th place. Dan Schneider goes up into 6th behind Toussaint. What can Toussaint do? He's being towed by Tiger up to the line, goes up into 2nd place, improves by 6/10, and that tow definitely aided him in his lap. Finn up to the line, he doesn't improve. Let's have a look to see Topster's and Wiggly Styles time. We're going to see Wiggly's first, then Topster's. Does Wiggly Style improve? It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like Topster's going to improve. He's 3.6 seconds off the pace. Wiggly, though, goes 2/10 behind Topster, replacing Thunder for tonight's race. And I think this is... Who's that coming up to the line? Not sure who it was, but here is your qualifying grid and starting grid for today's race. Dutchy is on provisional pole, followed by Toussaint in 2nd on the front row. Tim in 3rd, followed by Dan Schneider. Rick Holt in 4. No. Rick Holt in 4th, followed by Tiger in 5th. Dan, Finn, Tobster, Willie, Bonnie, Ted, Pierre and Aston round out the grid. The top 6, effectively. Bottom 6, sorry. This track then, 4.47 miles long. The start-finish rate alone is 1.24 miles. 13 corners here, 26 laps. The orange lights are flashing. And it's lights out, and away we go. And it's a slow, sluggish start for everyone on the intermediate tyre. Topster off to a good start in the Honda NSX. Meanwhile, the Alfa Romeo gets off the line like a rocket ship. Here goes Rick Holt putting alongside Attengren in the line down towards turn 1, who just gets ahead in the slipstream of Toussaint. Here we go then, this is where the carnage all unfolds, and hopefully we get an aerial shot. Who's latest on the brakes? Who's going to cause everyone to go wide? It's Rick Holt off at turn 1. He's gone wide, taking out all the cones. They're going 2 by 2. They're going 3, 4 wide in towards turn 1. Look at this. This is absolutely incredible stuff. Here on lap 1, we're only at turn 2 and there are about 5 cars all trying to feed their way through the same corner. Tiger Assassin's got front bumper damage. Does anyone have rear damage? I'm not too sure. Ted's going down the inside of Wiggly Style. They might have been forced wide. I think that was Rick Holt trying to go around the outside. Now down the inside of Wiggly Style. Can he make the move stick? Not quite. Dutchy, though, has the advantage early on Topster with a blistering start up into 3rd place from I think what was 8th on the grid. And has only done about an hour or 2 of practice before the race started. Ted up into 9th place ahead of Wiggly, Piero and Rick Holt, who's dropped all the way down into 12th place. Dutchy, though, with a 1.1 second lead already early on. That could be vital, crucial, getting out of the slipstream. Bonnie Evil trying to go for a move on Tim, now turns to the inside. Can he make this one stick? They're going to go wheel to wheel, hold each other up. That's going to promote Tiger and Finn with the opportunity to get the move done. They're going to go side by side into the penultimate corner. Up the hill then, late on the brakes. The elevation change helps with the braking. Finn trying to go down the inside. Tiger's dropped down to 8th place. Tim and Bonnie still going wheel to wheel. Bonnie getting out of shape on the exit. We now go down the massive start finish straight in towards turn 1. Here goes Tiger Assassin putting alongside Finn in this Porsche, which does lack straight line speed, but he's got to tuck in behind for now. Toussaint picking up a 6/10 gap to Topster, and 1.7 seconds ahead behind Dutchy on lap 1. This is where the human centipede for Group 3 cars starts. They're going to go through wide. Bonnie being sandwiched by Finn and Dan Schneider. Finn making up 2 positions and down the start finish straight. He's going to try and get Tim as well. They're 2 by 2 in the run down towards turn 1, but who's going to be the last of the late breakers? Looks like it's going to be Finn on the inside. Can he get it slowed down in time? Bonnie with the switchback. Tim trying to switch back as well. They're 4 wide going into turn 1. There's a cone in the middle of the track. Ted trying to go wheel to wheel with Wiggly in the background. Wiggly gets ahead. Ted's going to try the switchback move on the exit of turn 2. This is absolute carnage. Tobbs has got ahead of Toussaint as well. Apologies for missing that personal battle. But look at this. This is absolutely insane stuff. Bon Evil just ahead of this train of cars, which goes all the way down to 9th place. You can see the battle between Tobster and Toussaint happening just in front. Here goes Dan Schneider going through for a move on Bon Evil down the inside. Can he make this one stick? Bonnie almost hits the wall. Finn might try and make it 3 wide, but wisely decides to back out. You can see minimal spray being kicked up from the standing water on the track. It doesn't look like it's raining, but trust me, there is a light drizzle happening on the circuit. There are a few drivers brushing the wall. I think Tim was one of the few drivers who didn't hit the wall. You can see Finn's got his hazard lights or his rain lights on the back of his Porsche. Finn's now under pressure throwing Wiggly style. His teammate trying to go round the outside. Couldn't quite pull it off. Meanwhile, Toussaint trying to look for a move on Topster. The battle for second place. Dan Schneider's going to send one down the inside of Bon Evil. Was that late? Is it too late? It is late. He's in the wall. He's got damage and a 1 second time penalty. The game accusing him of wall riding, which is why we have the time penalties on, just to eliminate that factor, just in case anyone was to try and pull it off. Meanwhile, here goes Toussaint though. He's tucking in the slipstream of Topster, who does have his hazard lights on. Which way is he going to go? There's not enough room on the right hand side. He's going to pull over to the left, which is the outside line, going down the straight and in towards turn 1. Topster tucks into behind. Here goes Dan Schneider and Finn going side by side. Dan Schneider comes into the pits really early to repair the damage and will put on another set of intermediate tyres. Meanwhile, Topster with the slipstream is fighting back in the battle for second place. And you can see going up the hill, then back down the hill in the run down towards turn 1. Is Toussaint going to try and fight this one down the inside, late on the brakes, not late enough. What can Bonnie do in towards turn 1? They're wheel to wheel, the Porsche, and the BMW, 2 German manufacturers. Finn with a beautifully executed switchback move. Can he pull this one off? I don't think he quite had the traction. Bonnie though getting out of shape, which is going to cost him momentum, going up the hill in towards turn 3 and 4. They're still going to go wheel to wheel. Finn though has the inside line, and you'd think that'd be job done, but it's not going to be job done, because Bonnie's going to try and hold it around the outside and get the job done around the outside. Beautifully executed from the British driver, whose teammate is running away with this race win already, only on lap 3. Finn is practically pushing Bonnie Evil through these high medium speed corners. These guys running so close to one another. Slipstream is vital for a good result. And Tobster up into second place, having a phenomenal race. But these guys are 4 seconds behind Play Dutchie already. This man is an alien. Send him back to whatever planet he came from. Anyone trying to be ambitious going into the penultimate corner? Don't think so. Looks like Ted's got ahead of Pierre. Actually, no, that was the position gained because Dan came into the pits. Looked like Ted made a little bit of a mistake. Pierre, though, staying behind for now. Salmon, who I don't think is going to be behind for long, is this man. Finn in the Porsche is going to pull up alongside Bon Evil. 2 German manufacturers once again going side by side down the start finish straight. We cut up to the battle for second place. Topster's going to be smart about this. He's going to try and bump draft his way down the start finish straight, maybe save a little bit of fuel in the whilst doing so, and then send one at the last minute going in towards turn 1. These guys going side by side, Finn and Bon Evil. Tim aiding Finn. They're going to go 3 wide almost in towards turn 1 down this massive long start finish straight, which is 1.2 miles long. Tim is going to be trying to capitalise on this. He's going to try and go round the outside of Finn after going down the inside of Bonnie. Finn's got a little bit too deep. Finn's going to try the switchback move, gets the job done. Bonnie Evil capitalises on Finn going wide. There's a little bit of contact. Bonnie's lost the rear, keeps it out of the barriers, but that allows Wiggly Style to go through up into 6th place. The most Bonnie down into 7th place, just getting a little bit too throttle happy on the exit of the corner. And what a drive, what a start from Topster to keep Toussaint behind. He's got back past the British driver in towards turn 1. He's having a phenomenal race from 8th place on the grid. and only told me he was racing about an hour ago, replacing the missing Thunder 50/50 and his teammates with Aston in today's race, who's currently in 10th place, not doing too badly, about 11 seconds behind Piero in 9th. Hello, Cryptech and Black Country Mush, both joining in the chat, and hopefully, if it works, we should be able to get a replay of lap 1, turn 1, but I'll just wait a little bit until the action spreads out slightly, but I don't think that's going to happen, so I'll just wait, maybe the next lap in the middle sector, we can get a good view of how it almost, I think it went 5 or 4 wide in towards turn 2. Absolutely incredible. There are still 5 or so drivers battling away for 4th place. Tim is at the head of this train. Two Saints actually got back past Tobster somewhere along the lap. Someone is drifting it through the final corner. I think that might have been Piero, who seems to be struggling for the straight line speed, and I'd imagine that would have been because of the lack of momentum following the drifting. We start at lap 5 of 26, and Tobster's going to be pushing Toussaint down the start-finish straight before pulling over to the left-hand side. Lexus versus Honda. Which one's going to come out on top in terms of straight line speed? We'll have to wait and see. They seem fairly matched for now. If not, the Honda just getting the edge. Going up the hill in towards turn 1. Tobster now has the outside line, has to commit. But is he ahead to go back over to the inside? Not quite, because Toussaint's going to send one too late on the brakes. Tobster with a classic move, switchback move, gets back up into 2nd place. And Toussaint maybe getting a little bit frustrated with that. Finn getting a little bit twitchy on exit. Bonneville dropping down to 7th place, not seeming too confident in the traction zones, getting a little bit too throttle happy. Ted brushing the wall on the right hand side. Tobster drifting that car through turn 3. I think that's turn 3. Could be turn 4 if the game counts that little kink on the left hand side going up the hill. But that Honda is, well, there's no way to put it, oversteery. Doesn't have a back end, has nice front end grip. Tobster's doing absolutely incredible to be in 2nd place in this race. And I think it's time. Moment of truth. It works! We can have a lap 1 replay. So this is Tobster going in towards turn 1. Just keep an eye out on the back of the grid. Let's go on board with Ted. No, actually, let's go for a wide camera. I think that'd be better. Just look at this. This is absolute carnage. Bonneville, 5 Finn, Rick Holt, Ted, Tim, Tobster, Tiger. Absolutely incredible. And we can continue this going up the hill and towards turn 3. Ted and Wiggly going wheel to wheel. You can see there Tiger going side by side with that was Finn, got ahead of Finn. This is Ted getting the move done. Rick Holt going around the outside of Wiggly after going too deep in towards turn 1. And well, that is the events that happened on lap 1. We cut back to the action here on lap 5, going into start lap 6, and it's Toussaint who trails Tobster. We'll be seeing a familiar view from season 1, where he was behind this particular car with the particular livery round a certain track located in Spain. Bump drafting towards turn 1. But I'd imagine might try and send one here, maybe one bump draft too many going towards turn 1, has to stay behind for now. Could have been saving some fuel. Finn's going to try and send one on Wiggly style. It's late on the brakes, there's contact, and Finn has to back out of that, doing about 20 miles per hour going towards turn 1, and that's probably cost them both about half a second to a second at least. Finn definitely coming off a lot worse, losing about 9/10 to Wiggly style. Tiger on a comeback drive after pitting at the end of lap 1, I think. That might have been Rick Holt going too deep in towards turn 1. Let's just double check. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Where are we? Oh no, we are back at turn 1, and it was Rick Holt going too deep and actually taking air over the curb. And though for those who might be familiar with GT Sport, those are not the cone markers that are used for braking points. Just to make that very clear, those are prohibited. Those are just the curbs or the cones on the outside of turn 1. They naturally spawn whether you have the cones on or off. They're not on the racing line. They don't tell you when to brake. They're useless. They're just there. I think I had someone message me saying, why are cone markers on when they haven't been on all season? It was a spectator thing because I went out on track and then they disappeared. But yeah, some tracks do have naturally spawning cones, which are just on the side of the track. They're not braking points. They're not the same as the cone markers. The gaps, though, opening up after individual mistakes, and it's all down to whether Tiger can bring this one back. He's committed now to the two-stop strategy. It is tough to do a one-stop. You have to save, I think, 5 laps of fuel. That is tough. And if anyone can pull it off, then it's going to be... then that's just going to be incredible. Toussaint, though, only 3/10 off Dutchy's personal best lap, which was set a couple of laps ago on lap 5, a 2:05.6, and has an 8-second lead on lap 7. He's about 1.1 seconds a lap quicker than the rest of the field. I'm actually going to get the championship standings up as well. I've been prepared. I've got them up right here. Play Dutchy is on 319 points. He's 99 points clear of this man who's currently running in 10th place. Dutchy on 319, Tiger on 220, and Toussaint and Attengren equal on 216 points, both 4 points behind Tiger Assassin. Play Dutchy can actually win the championship here tonight. I've only just clocked that. I'm going to work it out for you, ladies and gentlemen, whilst the race is happening. We'll get we will flick through the action to try and see where the overtakes are happening, and I'll try and do some hot laps as well, because the gaps are starting to open up. I think our closest battle is actually between Dan Schneider and Rick Holt. Having said that, Rick Holt has let his teammate go through. Looks like some team orders there. Maybe not well executed, as Rick Holt has now lost a significant chunk of time, now 1.56 seconds behind his teammates. Maybe misjudge the closing speed of his teammates. Anyway, let's work this one out, and I'll do it live on stream just so we can have some calculations going on it. You know, a little bit of fun, a little bit of engagement, just so I'm not sat there going, oh, well, if you add 27 or whatever. So, Play Dutchy is on 319 points. Tiger behind on 220. That's a 99-point gap. Maximum points on offer for a driver is 31. That is the race win, plus the fastest lap of the race if you can keep it by the end. After this race, there will be 3 races left, which means 93 points on offer for the final 3 races. Which means... actually, that means Dutchy, either Tiger Assassin needs to outscore Dutchy by 6 points, or Tim or Toussaint need to outscore Dutchy by 10 points. Otherwise, the Drivers' Championship will be wrapped up here in the second wet race of the season here at Tokyo Expressway, where there's been round 12 out of 15, and this man right here in the Alfa Romeo 4C might win this Drivers' Championship here tonight. At the minute, Toussaint will be picking up 24 points, and Dutchy is on 319, picking up 31. If you do the maths, 216 plus 24, that's 237. Quick maths. Dutchy on 319 will be gaining 31 points. We'll go on 350, which is... oh, actually, no, that is way more, actually, than 93 points, which means, ladies and gentlemen, Dutchy could win the championship here tonight. But I'll keep you updated as the race goes on. It could all change very quickly, as it has for Topser, who's dropped off the back of Toussaint and is now falling victim to the Mazda RX Vision GT3, the best sounding car on the grid. Just listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. That is the sound of an engine. Someone in the chat asking, do you want to become famous? Buy followers now. No, thank you. We don't accept bot requests here. unfortunately. But if you'd love to follow us anyway, that'd be highly appreciative. Here goes Tim, going for a move round the outside of turn 1. Can he pull it off? We'll have to wait and see who's going to be later on the brakes. Looks like Tim's later on the brakes. We'll have to wait and see. No, it was actually Topster later on the brakes, but Tim with a beautifully executed switchback gets the move done up into third place, sorry. Topster getting out of shape on the exit of turn 1. He does hold it well, and I'm actually impressed. He has taken him 9 laps to lose the rear, because that Honda is an animal to control. He's an absolute master at that car. If anyone else can drive it better than Topster, who's not doing the Nations Cup, or is not in the GT Sport eSport side of things, then I will pay you £25. Because this man right here, trust me, I know from personal 5-lap races, watching him in season 1, he's just so quick. I don't get how he finds the time in the Honda. Absolutely, it's actually incredible. I mean, in the wet as well. That rear end must be all over the place. He is, though, going to be under a little bit of pressure, or quite a bit of pressure, from Wiggly Style in his Toyota Supra. I believe it's the Toyota Supra, and I'm right in saying it is the Toyota Supra. You can see there some information on the bottom right. I can do that because I'm on a keyboard. If anyone's watching this and you want to do commentary, or you do commentary for GT Sports, there are a few hidden features on a keyboard which you do not have on controller. To turn it on, you just have to go to the settings, switch the keyboard on. You can flick between any driver you want on the grid. Actually, that was something. That looked like Pierre getting a little bit out of shape, maybe letting Tiger Assassin go through. We'll have to wait and see. Piero was ahead of Tiger Assassin. He's got Ted ahead of him. He's late on the brakes. The rear stepped out. Ooh, that was close. What happened here? Oh no, sorry. Piero was always ahead of Tiger Assassin. My bad. That's Ted actually in front of Piero. But for how much longer? Actually, no, he comes into the pits. Never mind. Now, let's have a look at this battle. Where was battle for 4th place? But going back to the hidden features, if you press F12, you get some driver details. F11 gets rid of the telemetry. F10 gets rid of the leaderboard, adds the telemetry. F9 gets rid of everything. Unfortunately, you can't have everything on at the same time unless you do it on the controller. Numbers 1 to 0, Q to R do drivers 1 to 10 and 11 to 14. Press Z followed by X, C or V for a replay like this. And depending on which one you press, depend on how far back it goes. Lovely having a replay feature. Letters from G to L on the keyboard do the different cameras. We've got G, H, J, K, L. Ooh, there's J, sorry. But this is the standard cam. This is the what's it called? Is it the variable camera? Yeah, the variable camera. Both are good in their own way. Both have very nice camera shots. But I think standard is better for watching a driver. Like you can see, it zooms in on Wiggly, whereas I think variable it's kind of more zoomed out. It gives you in like different camera angles. Some of them are like inside the curved camera angles. Bonnie Evil though, not going to be too fussed about camera angles. Trying to get ahead of FGR Finn in the Porsche. I keep saying Peugeot. I need to stop saying Peugeot. Riding on board though with the BMW, going down the start finish straight. Toussaint is into the pits. The first of the front runners. We're going to get some bump drafting going down the start finish straight. Bonnie just waiting for the perfect opportunity to pull over. Not pull over, sorry, pull out of the slipstream. Pulling over is definitely not the right word. But to pull out of a slipstream, just wait for it. The straight is so long, it's 1.2 miles long. You're about to see it now going in towards turn 1. Isn't going to send it. Surprised, to be perfectly honest. Is that Finn going deep? It is Finn going deep, and that's Bonnie up into... No, there was just action. I'm sorry. There's a going wheel to wheel on exit. Finn actually gets the position back. Now we'll get a replay feature of the entire thing. Apologies about that, ladies and gentlemen. There's Finn going way too deep in towards turn 1, over the white line. rejoins, but with such better exits, having taken the wider line, then gets the position back on Bon Evil and maintains 5th place. You can see there, Topster now leading the train as these guys have caught up to the back of Wiggly Style, and I'm sure they will be into the pits at the end of this lap. Dutchy will be in soon. Tim, though, is he on a one-stop? He's saved a lot of fuel. Finn, now the Porsche, naturally saves fuel, so Finn has more fuel than the cars around him. Could possibly go for a one-stop. You need to make it to lap 13, though, if you were to pull it off and then continue to fuel save for the second half of the stint. Bon Evil touching the wall on the left-hand side. Is he going to send one? That's late by Finn, and that is a huge crash on the final corner. Big damage and a big incident. Let's have another replay of that from Wiggly Styles' point of view. From the rear, you can just see it was way too late, way too ambitious, and Wiggly Styles just a victim in that incident. Hugely unfortunate, and is facing now the right direction, but with no rear left tyre, with a massive suspension damage. I'm sure, no doubt, that the stewards will be looking at that incident after the race, and could be a penalty coming in the way of Finn, who was way too ambitious on the brakes. Dutchy, though, in and out of the pits with a full tank of fuel, promotes Attengren into the lead of this race. Tiger's now up into 3rd place, but has to make another pit stop. However, all these other drivers around him, unless they're one-stopping, will also be into the pits. Hobbs the car ahead, actually behind Bon Evil, so has been jumped by the BMW driver. Topster has put in a lot more fuel than the cars around him. Dan Schneider staying out as well. Someone else who pitted early on in this race from damage. Tiger, one of those who got damage on the opening lap, decided to pit at the end of the first lap. We're only on lap 12 out of 26. We're almost halfway through the race, and if Tim can keep this up, he could be on for a one-stop. You get default 11 laps of fuel in the car without saving any, so it's about 3 laps of fuel each stint to save if you're to make the one-stop work. A reminder, the championship can be won here tonight at Tokyo Expressway if Tiger outscores Play Dutchy by 6 points. If Toussaint or Tim outscore Dutchy by 10 points, the championship goes on to Spa next week for the 3rd and final sprint race of this Season 4 championship before we start what I can only describe as a different season. Stay tuned for over the Christmas break, as keep a beady eye out for when the registrations will start to open. I'm looking forward to it. Could be the final season with GT7 on the horizon. Coming out 4th of March. Let me know, guys, if drivers are watching the stream back after the race, please let me know. Do you want one more season after this one? And when GT7 comes out, would you be willing to do another season, or do you think everyone's going to be on GT7? Because obviously F1 comes out, and then everyone buys the new F1 game, and all the leagues convert onto the F1 game. Gran Turismo, though, it's the first Gran Turismo that's come out since 2012. GT Sport's been out since 2017, sorry. So it's been 4 years since we've had a new Gran Turismo game. So I don't know how quickly everyone's going to convert, but I would aim for a GT7 league in June. I don't know if June's the right time to do it, because obviously everyone might be away over the summer. If we have any under 18s joining, then they might have important GCSEs or A-levels, mock exams. So I will be considerate about that, but the first season might just be a short one to, you know, test maybe GT3. You know, let's have a few, try new things, try new tracks, tyre wear. We'll have to wait and see. But, yeah, I am looking forward to it. Looking forward to it, definitely. That is Piero hitting the wall, getting away with no time penalty or no damage. Tim has made lap 13. Does he come into the pits? He's pulling over to the left. He does come into the pits. Attengren could be making, or trying to make, this one stop work. Let's have a look at the championship standings. He has won a race this season. He won the race in Brands Hatch after Playboy actually made his mistake. But Tim has picked up podiums throughout the course of the season. Only second place though. He got second place in Fuji, the Red Bull Ring, the Nürburgring, and Catalunya. All second places, apart from Brands Hatch, which he won. Tiger into the pits with no fuel in the car. Let's see if he ran out, actually. He ran out of fuel. You can see his speed is decreasing going down the straight, and Tiger running out of fuel, and his race has gone from bad to worse here on lap 14. From damage on lap 1 to running out of fuel at the end of his second stint. Might be a stretch, however, to make it to the end of the race on this fuel. Might be having to do a 3-stop. He is going to be forced to save fuel. Aston are kind of in a bit of no man's land, running a rainbow Red Bull themed Toyota. That was almost a mouthful to say. Has just pitted for a fresh set of intermediates and some extra fuel, which should hopefully see him through to the end of the race, unless he's doing a 2-stop strategy. Let's have a look at 5. Let's actually go on to something that we've not done well. Let's head over to the live timings, where we join Ted Kravis or Karoon Sewing, whatever, for the gap information. This is where a co-commentator would be nice and helpful, just for the you know, the stuff, the atmosphere, the conversation. I'm a bit lonely, ladies and gentlemen. If anyone wants to join me, I mean, I'm open for a co-commentator. I do everything by myself. I do this commentary by myself. I do the GP by myself. The academy. Join me. Maybe not everyone. I don't want like 10 people. Anyway, let's get back to the action here. Here goes Rick Holt going side by side with Ted. Peugeot versus Mercedes. I know which one I'd want to come out in front, and it is the Petronas Mercedes who gets ahead of the Forget-Me-Nots themed Peugeot, which we are used to seeing in the Group B Championship. Ted currently running in second place in that division, replacing Websons in today's race. Has got the slipstream though in the run down towards turn 1. It's about, I don't know how long it is in terms of time, but 1.2 miles in terms of length. Dan Schneider is into the pits for a fresh set of intermediate tyres. Everyone though opting for the inters, whereas last time out in Austria we actually had a mix of wets compared to inters. It was a little bit more heavy rain though. Ted though is gaining down the start finish straight. He's not gaining enough. That Peugeot does lack straight line speed. He's not brave enough or close enough to send one in towards turn 1. And has to maintain 10th place for now. We'll try and keep up though with the Mercedes driver as long as he can. Try and claim some crucial points for Websons in the championship. Dutchy though is leading this race. Attengren is 21 seconds behind, but could be going to the end. We'll just have to wait and see. We're over halfway through the race, and our closest battle on track for now is between Topster 2710 and Wiggly Style. Two Japanese manufacturers, one Honda, one Toyota, but which driver will come out on top? At the minute, it is Topster with an 8/10 advantage over Wiggly in his Toyota Supra. both drivers, all drivers on the intermediate tyre. Dutchy has the fastest lap of the race, a 2-minute 5.4, and starts lap 16 of 26. We've got 11 laps here to go at Tokyo Expressway, the East Inner Loop configuration, and it's raining. The sun is beaming bright though on this damp track. I don't think it's actually raining for half the track. You'll see here riding on board, well obviously it's dry in the tunnel, no rain, only dry track and crucial slipstream. You can see Wiggly is just gaining on that Toyota Honda NSX. Someone's gone deep in towards turn 1. That might have been too late. Let's have a look at the action replay. I just saw his dot appear to go wide on the map. To be honest, the map makes it look like he went wider. I thought that was him going wide in towards turn 1. My apologies for the anti-climax, but Wheelerstyle has gained quite a bit down that start-finish straight. However, on the traction, looks like Tobbs has just got to the edge. Meanwhile, Piero drifting it through turn 2, struggling for rear-end grip. Looking further down the grid, Ted's just dropped 3.5 seconds now behind Rick Holt. Tiger's gained 1 to 2 seconds on that last lap on his comeback drive through the field. Might be going to the end of the race, but we'll have to wait and see whether he can manage the fuel after pitting at the end of lap 14. He ran out of fuel after 13 laps of pitting on lap 1, and he's going to have to take that fuel another 13 laps if he's to make it to the end. Some drivers though won't be making it to the end, and I can tell you now Toussaint is one of those who won't be with half a tank of fuel. If a full tank is about 10 laps, 11 laps, half a tank is going to be about 5 and 6, and that is not enough to get to the end of the race. Thank you to everyone who is watching. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and the Twitch if you have Twitch Prime. Drop a like below if you're watching this on YouTube. It's greatly appreciated. Join our Discord server, which can be found in at the bottom of the website. Just type in Gavra Racing into Google, into Bing, into Yahoo, whatever search engine you use. Obviously other search engines are available. Here we go though. Speaking of a different type of engine, Honda versus Toyota in the run down towards turn 1. Well, it's the Toyota that gets ahead for now, but for how much longer? Because Tobster is going to traditionally tuck back into behind in the slipstream and will get the advantage down the second half of the straight. In towards turn 1, riding on the rear board of Wheelerstyle's Toyota. Tobster's later on the brakes. He's going to try and go for it down the inside. I think that might have been Wiggly either going too late or just leaving the room on the inside. They're going to go side by side there on the exit of turn 1 and 2 and 3, or however many corners make up the first few sectors. But that is Wiggly getting ahead. Meanwhile, in the back, we've got Tiger trying to go down the inside of Ted in towards turn 1. I think this counts as one long turn 1, maybe even turn 2, but then does this little kink count as turn 3? I don't know. I'm going to call it turn 1 and 2. But that is Ted down to 11th place. Tiger making his way up to 10th, and in his hope of a recovery drive through the field. Meanwhile, we wait and see whether Tim can make it the final 9 laps of the race. It's definitely going to be tough to see if he can manage it. A little bit of fuel saving will be required, but he's only lost 3 seconds to Dutchy in the past 4 laps, which isn't bad in the sense that he's saving fuel and Dutchy has to pit again. Plus, Dutchy's pace has been immaculate this race, and well, he's got a 13-second lead over the rest of the field, and his lap times are just so consistent and so competitive. Meanwhile, someone who's been very competitive from starting 8th place on the grid tonight found himself in 2nd place at the end of lap 2. Tobster, now up into 6th place, is hunting down Wheelerstyle, the Swedish driver, the only Swedish driver on the grid. Also in the only Toyota, I believe. No, I'm wrong. Aston is also in the Toyota, just a different type of Toyota, currently running in P13, going through the 2nd sector. Here goes Topster though. He just doesn't seem to be gaining time down the straights. He could be saving fuel and trying to make it to the end. 8 laps to go. 8 long laps to go. But it's about 17 minutes of racing. We've been going for 37 and a half as shown in the bottom left hand corner of your screens. To be perfectly honest, saving fuel might not be a bad thing in these tricky wet conditions, because if you put your engine in 4, 5 or 6, you're going to get less wheel spin and ultimately better traction on exit. Yes, you will be slower down the straights, but you can knock it up to 1, 2 or 3 for that. So I don't know, maybe that might be a driving tactic that some of these drivers are going for. That could be why Dutchy is so quick. He could just be managing the fuel, and that's what's giving him traction on the exit of the corners. Who knows how he does it? Do you think we should get an onboard lap? Let's do it. Let's get an onboard fastest lap attempt from Play Dutchy. We'll have to wait and see if it is going to be a good lap though. If not, it's going to be anticlimactic. I'm also going to keep an eye on the leaderboard in battle for 5th place whilst we go on board with your championship leader. Let's actually change it. Let's get a cockpit view down the start-finish straight, reaching speeds of 171 miles per hour, decreasing in speed as you go up the hill, blinded by the early sunrise. Little left-hand kink before braking at the 150 meter board. Careful on the down shifts down to first gear, getting the car rotated in, hitting both apex nicely, or gently apply the throttle application, short shifting briefly up to 2nd place, and he's purple in towards sector 1. Blue flags are being waved for Aston in front. Up the hill now and towards this right hand kink. 50 meter boards is your braking point before getting back on the power nice and early. A little lift off the accelerator before getting back on full throttle on the exit of the corner. Purple through the 2nd sector, almost hits the wall on the right hand side. You can see how much Dutchy is pushing this car every single lap, getting so close to the barrier on the right hand side. He's got Aston in front for company. A little bit of slipstream down the straight. Dirtier though in the corners. You can see how much momentum he has. He has to get out of the way of Aston going around the outside, and gets the job done. That might have cost him time, has cost him 2/10 on this lap, but it's not qualifying though, and he does have a 14-second lead. It's a 2 behind, braking at the 100 meter board for the penultimate corner, hooking up the inside apex nicely before getting so close to the inside barrier for opening up the steering, which leads on to the 1.2 mile long straight. From here it's simple, foot flat to the throttle as you practically go straight in the run down towards turn 1. Takes forever, but definitely provides great wheel-to-wheel racing if you're directly behind someone on the last lap of the race. We'll have to keep an eye on that to see if we get any last lap wheel-to-wheel action. Will definitely be fun. It's 2 minutes 6 to play Dutchy on that lap. Might have even gone purple had Aston moved out of the way sooner. Running 13th place, 41 seconds behind Ted, who's dropped down to 12th behind Rick Holt. Progress Aston though is 12 seconds behind Piero, 1 minute behind Play Dutchy. That's how far ahead Play Dutchy is over the rest of his competitors. Bear in mind though, Tiger has made 2 pit stops after pitting on lap 1 and will no doubtably be saving fuel to make it to the end of this race. Topper and Finn though, going wheel to wheel down the start finish straight. This is what we want to see on the final lap of the race. Finn though gets ahead. Wigglesdale is into the pits for his second stop. Piero follows him in. Maybe Topper could be going to the end. He seems to have saved half a tank of fuel as he's slipstreaming the back of Finn's Porsche, going up the hill, down the straight, in towards turn 1. Is he going to send one down the inside? He's not close enough on this attempt to go for anything reckless in towards the first corner. But let's just have a look to see. You can see the oversteer. He gets an exit whilst in second gear. And that Honda is definitely a tricky car to drive with 7 laps to go. As it stands, we will be crowning a new GT Sport champion here tonight. Dutchy on 319 points in the Drivers' Championship will be gaining an extra 31 as things stand, which will put him on 350 points ahead of Tiger Assassin, with 93 points available for the final 3 races. That's a win and the fastest lap available. Tiger needs to close the gap. He needs to effectively win this race, with Dutchy down in 3rd place. If Dutchy finishes 2nd with Tiger winning, in theory it'll be enough for Tiger to draw level in the championship, but because of the win situation, Dutchy will win the championship on wins. Toussaint and Dutchy both into the pits. That promotes Tim into the lead of the race, and he won't be pitting again. Dutchy, though, is already out of the pits. Tim, though, is going to have such more momentum in the run down towards turn 1. This could be something to keep an eye out. 7 seconds, 6 seconds, now 5.5, 5 seconds, 4.5. He's not close enough, but he is crucially ahead of Toussaint by 10 seconds, and that gap is going to keep increasing as they make their way in towards turn 1. Just to repeat myself, Dutchy on 350 points as things stand. Tiger Assassin currently running in 7th place. We'll calculate things in a few minutes though, seeing as drivers are making pit stops. But for the championship to be over, Dutchy needs to extend his gap to 93 points. And at the minute, it is over 93 points. Tiger running in 5th place is not going to be enough. Tim running in 2nd is not going to be enough either. We need Dutchy to make a mistake or retire from the race. Otherwise, Dutchy will pick up the treble 3 years in a row. Similar to the streak of Sebastian Vettel, the streak of Michael Schumacher, the streak of Fangio, and the streak of the most recent Lewis Hamilton. The only 4 drivers in F1 history to win 3 championships consecutively. I think I said the only 4 drivers, yeah. Hamilton, Vettel, Schumacher, and Fangio, in order from most recent to oldest. Tim, though, is 4.2 seconds behind. Play Dutchy 14 seconds ahead of Toussaint, and has made that one stop work beautifully. Wiggly Star, though, is going to be under pressure from Dan Schneider. Wiggly, though, is on a fresher set of intermediates, but we'll have to wait and see how this battle unfolds. Toyota versus Lexus. We'll have to wait and see which one comes out on top in this battle. Wiggly Star being involved in a late send from Finn early on in the race, causing him to spin out and get damaged in the process. Dan Schneider will just clip the wall there on the right hand side, going through the penultimate corner. Was definitely going to cost him momentum to Topster in his Honda, and SX behind. He's out of the slipstream from Wiggly Star. I don't think any of these guys are in anyone's slipstream. Topster, though, is so close to the back of that the slipstream range of the Lexus. I think that was Finn going in and out of the pits. Hasn't put on a fresh set of tyres, interestingly. Or I think just to stop up her fuel to make it to the end of the race. That promotes Tiger up into 5th place. Makes it a British 3-4-5 with a Dutchman leading the way on lap 22. We'll cut back to the action for 7th place. Dan Schneider just going a little bit deep in towards turn 1. Has recovered nicely though. Topster getting a little bit snappy on the rear, on the exit of the corner. I believe all the scheduled pit stops have now been complete. So if Tiger was to finish in 5th place, he is on 220 points. For finishing in 1st, you get 30, 24 for 2nd, 21 for 3rd, 18 for 5th, 4th, and 15 for 5th. You do the maths. That is a 235 points, which is 115 points behind Play Dutchy, and with 3 rounds left to go, that gap is going to be impossible to close. It's getting ever so closer for this championship being wrapped up. In terms of constructors, though, it can't be wrapped up today. Only 10 points separating Interrogator and BCMR, or at least I believe those are the team names. Let me just double check. That is factually correct, and yes, it is. It's Interrogator, Team Play Dutchy, and Bonnie Evil. Tiger and Two Saints racing for Team BCMR. Bonnie Evil in 6th place in the championship, behind Finn, 41 points behind Finn. Currently running in 6th place. Bonnie in 4th, I believe, 3 seconds ahead of Tiger Assassin. Now, this battle between the two could become personal if the gap closes down with only 4 laps to go, as both drivers battling for Constructors' Championships. Tiger and Toussaint, undefeated, 2-time Constructors winners. We didn't have a Constructors' Championship, or a Teams' Championship, I should say, in Season 1. But I brought it in for the 2nd season. And that's when teammates became a thing. Our closest battle on track is this battle for 7th place. Actually, the battle for 6th place, effectively, if you include Manuel in this train of cars. And hello to everyone who has stayed with us for the entirety of the race. I hope you are enjoying the action here tonight. It might look easy, these guys driving lap after lap, but trust me, it is really tricky to drive in the wet in this game. But believe me when I say this, everyone, I'd say 80% of the grid was against my decision of putting wet tracks in the calendar. But we've had 2 very successful wet races. First ever wet race was at the Red Bull Ring in Group 4, and what racing that provided. So I decided to try it again in Group 3. This time though, we're at Tokyo Expressway around the East Inner Loop configuration to see how the action unfolds here. Action going on into turn 1. I think that's Dutchy lapping Aston. That is correct. Aston being lapped again. Well, I say again, Dutchy has made a pit stop, which brought Aston unlapped, and Dutchy has now caught up once again and has now lapped Aston. The gap has closed down from 3.2 to 2.8 on the final lap between Bonnie and Tiger Assassin, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. It's going to need a mistake from the British BMW driver to allow Tiger to gain the time back. But what a recovery drive it's been from him on lap 1 after being in the pits with a front bumper damage, then had to pit again after running out of fuel halfway down the start-finish straight. It has been a great recovery drive, but one that he was hoping wouldn't be the scenario. Meanwhile, we do have a battle on track that could be going down to the wire between Wiggly Style and Finn. The battle for 6th place. I'm sure things are going to get a little bit intense between these two after Finn collided into the back of Wiggly Style at the final corner, causing both of them to get damage, causing Wiggly to face the wrong way. Finn hitting the wall on the left-hand side a few corners ago. And, well, Wiggly's just dropped off a little bit now, 1 second behind Finn. Meanwhile, Play Dutchy starts the penultimate lap of the race. Yes, he does, sorry. Starts the penultimate lap of the race and edges ever so closely to becoming a 3-time GT Sport champion. Wiggly Styles now under pressure from Dan Schneider going around the final corner. Dan's going to tuck in behind into the slipstream of the Toyota going down the start-finish straight. He's going to be gaining and gaining and gaining. If this was the final lap, but with only one lap to go after this one, it might as well be. These guys will be fighting till the death until they cross the white and black start-finish line. When that checkered flag is waved, looks like Dan's saving fuel. He's not gaining in a straight. The Lexus isn't that slow. He has to be saving fuel to make it to the end of the race. I think everyone, though, has got enough fuel to make it to the end. Tim has beautifully executed the one-stop strategy. Tiger's gained 2/10 on that last lap, but it's not going to be enough if he's to gain 4th place in the race. Wiggly Styles gone wide. That's going to allow Dan Schneider to go for it down inside. Wiggly, though, having taken the wider line, will get better traction on the exit. They're going to go wheel to wheel now. Wiggly gets ahead of the Lexus, which just couldn't quite get the power down on the exit of turn 1. Promotes himself, well, maintains 7th place. Here we go then, Play Dutchie going down the start-finish straight. We'll be starting the final lap of this race for the final wet race of the season. There we go. He starts the final lap of the race and edges ever so closely to winning this championship for the 3rd time in a row. Meanwhile, we concentrate and focus on the battle for 7th place between Wiggly Style and Dan Schneider, the closest battle out on the racetrack as things stand. Dan Schneider taking a tighter line through the penultimate corner. Who, though, is going to come out in front in this battle for 7th place? We'll have to wait and see. Ladies and gentlemen, strap yourselves in, because it's going to be a one-lap showdown here in Tokyo Expressway between these two, who I believe are quite close to each other in the Drivers' Championship. I'm not quite sure, but are somewhere in the mid-table, doing very well for their respective teams. Here we go then down the start-finish straight. You can see Dan Schneider starting to gain and then he's starting to drop off. Is that Lexus actually that slow? Or is he saving fuel? He could be saving fuel. His warning lights on, that usually indicates about a lap of fuel. They're both going about the same distance, about the same speed. I'm not sure why Dan Schneider's dropping off all too much. Is he going to try and go for anything down the inside into turn 1? He's not quite close enough though to challenge anything. We'll have to wait and see. Almost pushing him on the exit of turn 1. But well, it's been 12. We've had 11 races here in season 4 of this GT Sport League, and this man, Play Dutchie, has won 9 of those races. He only finished off the top step in Alsace and Brands Hatch when he finished 3rd place. He's weaving down the start-finish straight. I think he knows what's about to come. The hazard lights are on, his fuel lights on, but it doesn't matter because he's going to approach the line on lap 26 and 26 to win the race here in Tokyo Expressway and win his 3rd championship here in the GT Sport League. He's even got time to do a few donuts, or I believe at least his AI doing a few donuts. Huge congratulations to Play Dutchie. He wins the 3rd season here in the GT Sport League. Huge congratulations from Atom Grin as well for making the one-stop work. Finishes in 2nd place. Toussaint rounds out the podium in 3rd place. Crucial points for their constructors' fights, but it's going to be Team Interrogator who overtake BCMR for, I believe, for the first time this season. Bon Evil with a crucial 4th place, getting ahead of Tiger Assassin, who's ran out of fuel again. Who's ran out of fuel, crossing the line. We turn our attention back though, because Finn's ran out of fuel, and that's Wiggly Style getting the jump on Finn. I didn't even see that happening. You can see here goes Finn down the start-finish straight. I don't even think he ran out of fuel. If he has run out of fuel, you can see his fuel light just depleting. Wiggly then gets into the slipstream, and we can't see anything, game. And I don't know why the race has finished so early. I think everyone might have crossed the line. But I can definitely its continuation was 130 seconds. But there you have it. Dutchy not only picks up the winning medal, but the Drivers' Championship trophy. And we might get some donuts out on the track. But here are your race results here tonight. Play Dutchy wins round 12 and takes home his 10th win out of 12. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely dominant this season. Tim, though, a beautiful one-stop, claims second place and 2 second rounds out the podium in third. Bon Evil finishes in fourth ahead of Tiger Assassin, who made probably the best comeback drive he could possibly do with the damage on lap 1 and running out of fuel twice. Wiggly Star finishes in sixth, recovering from Finn, who took him out early on in the race, finishes in 7th place. Dan Schneider finishes in 8th, followed by Tobster in 9th, replacing Thunder for today's race. Rick Holt in 10th, followed by Piero in 11th, Ted replacing Websons in 12th, and Aston in 13th. But where is he? Here he is. Dutchy is your champion for season 4. And we're going to get some donuts at the halfway through the start-finish straight, where it is slightly drier than the rest of the track. Looks like 2 Saints had enough. So is Aston. They've already left the room. And, well, interesting donuts from Dutchy. Not quite making a full donut, more like half donuts from Dutchy. Maybe someone needs to teach him a lesson how to do proper donuts. But nevertheless, smoke is coming off the back of those rear tyres because a new champion, a champion has been crowned. Looks like Dutchy might go down towards turn 1. Well, there's a little bit more room to do donuts. He's actually going to come into the pits. But that is the end of this race here in Tokyo Expressway. I hope everyone watching has thoroughly enjoyed, because it's been a great season. And although the Drivers' Championship has been wrapped up, the Constructors hasn't. Bonnie and Dutchy take the lead of the Constructors' Championship, I believe, if so, by a small margin. If not, 2 Cent and Tiger might just be a point or 2 ahead. We'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, that is going to bring an end to this race. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Make sure to follow the Twitch account. Subscribe if you have Twitch Prime. Subscribe to the YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to like the video. Comment down below maybe your best overtake or your best race of the season. It's not even been over yet. We're already talking about the end of the season. If you want to join our Discord, there is a link down below, I believe. If not, head over to our website, gavraracing.altavista.org, and you will find a link to the Discord where you can chat to everyone in the community, drivers, spectators, admin, whoever you want to chat to. It's a friendly community. And who knows, if you're watching and you want to race, whether it's in GT Sport or F1, come join us. Come join us. Join our Discord, send myself or Gav a message, and we'll get you into the F1 or GT Sport leagues. If you're here for something else, we occasionally hold events such as Rocket League, some Call of Duty, and we might be trying to get an Assetto Corsa League started soon. Hopefully we can get that back started after it got cancelled halfway through this... Was it halfway through this year? Possibly halfway through... No, I think it was the start of the year. But, yeah. Anyway, congratulations to Play Dutchy. And to end the stream, I don't know how you say goodbye in Dutch, but goodbye.